where public safety was at risk and made some decisions. Could that be basically part of a public discussion? Absolutely. Did they get it right? Good question. Only those neighborhoods and the people involved would really be the experts who could sort of speak to that. So clearly, I'm hearing there's a concern out there that needs a review. Anybody want to speak to that?
Is there any sort of an appeal process?
Is there which?
Is there any sort of an appeal process now that it's been arbitrarily changed with no public consultation? How is it reviewed? What is the process?
What is the appeal process?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just, thought is I think that there should be some policy development around it. Because people are going more than 40, to me doesn't seem like a good idea, good reason to reduce speed security, but to enforce 40. That's what the problem is. But I fully believe, I was taken aback by the extent of reduction in speed limits and for how long they extended it. It didn't seem to be very well thought out in my view. When I then spoke to Public Works, they had a rationale for each one, but it was sort of to me like the rationale for why Rodney King was beaten on the head 18 times. It was like at this point, such and such. So
You got another analogy here? So from that, is it staff?
Well, I just have to go over that again because I was using mine. I'm quite happy with the 30 kilometers speed limit on the road, being a resident nearby and using the road a lot. And I also wanted to say that nobody asked before the 40-mile-kilometer limit was put on the road either.
Yeah, I've certainly heard from a traffic engineer. We queried them. This was when this was part of Opus Hamilton when they came to speak as part of the early project development proposal. There was a traffic engineer on the island, and I asked that question. I said, "Is our 40K speed limit on the island appropriate?" I said, "There's, I've heard various opinions on that," and the answer was yes. Those were imposed by Ministry of Transport. They would have assessed the roads and sort of put those numbers on. So that I'm getting to the question of is 40K appropriate? And in terms of the 30K, this is really important, I think, for all of us to remember. When it comes to council decisions, public safety is number one. Public safety trumps all. Trumps convenience. It should trump cost or most costs. It's going to trump just about every other priority because it's a public safety issue. So when public safety issues get flagged to council, it's really serious. And I would stand behind staff basically using their prerogatives to make changes that they feel relate to public safety. The process should be good. The community should be consulted, absolutely. But I don't think anybody at this table would diminish the importance of public safety. And there's no doubt about it that people speed on this island. When the RCMP came and had sort of a town hall in this building a year ago or so, the number one issue that was raised was people speeding on the island. Speeding and the fears of public safety. So it is a legitimate issue. I wouldn't diminish, the role of staff in attempting to do the right thing. The question is, anytime you do something, you should be talking to the community and as a way to improve the decision. Because staff may get it right or may not get it right. So I hear from you, Brian, that there will be a process by which the community is invited in some way to talk with staff presentation as to what we've done and why we've done it. And
we'll develop some sort of policy and bring it back to council consideration.
And then something.
Just a little side comment about the speeds. That's reducing the carbon footprint as well. But that's not my the point I wanted to make. It's about the expert committee concept that we're using now. Great idea, and I really like it. I think it should be expanded. The concept should be expanded because there's a lot of very smart, very committed people that don't have the paper qualifications of being an expert. And, you know, anybody that's been in the committee, in the community for any length of time, probably named thousands of them, well, hundreds, that are very smart people, know the community very well, but are not engineers, are not trained biologists or whatever. And I think that that is something that would weaken the volunteer structure of having those criteria too tight. There's got to be some way of including and enabling those people. And that includes new people that come into the community. You know the ones that exist, but we've got to have some broader criteria that grab those people. And that's otherwise, I think you'll actually get less valuable results and also alienate some very good people.
Good. Kathy, do you want to speak to that at all in terms of what our selection processes are for creating task forces and working
In
groups?
terms of representation of experts for the task forces, and I think if you look at our committee structures, we do have a wide range of community members. And it's not just their paper qualifications. But you're talking specifically about the infrastructure committee?
No, the whole thing. It's just I've heard from many people, often women, that they're feeling that they're not, there's some exclusion going on there. And that's taken a whole bunch of power. So
One of the things we've recently implemented is broadening our base of advertising for committees, including the forum, including our website and the paper. And the forum is actually an effective tool for getting information out there. We started utilizing it to post things on it. And appreciate feedback for us how to communicate better as well. If anybody wants to contact me for how to get the word out there. But we're centralizing our advertising for people. So that should help. We just recently started it.
Sarah?
First of all, a comment and a question. First of all, I'm really impressed with who's here from our staff and our councilors, and really pleased that we have this chance to talk to you. I'm disappointed in the number in the audience. So I'm going to tell you something that Murray Skeels told me when I was running for council. And he said, when you tell people something, you tell them and then you tell them again, and then you tell them that you told them. Because I talked to friends this morning that hadn't heard about this meeting, and I think they would have come. So I'm not saying we didn't advertise. I know we did, but I think the advertising next time maybe has to be a little bit more upfront time, and maybe I'll try and talk about it more in my community. Okay, my question is that there's a momentum building in the community in support of the CRC developers. And I'm not a member of the Trust Society, and I don't have really strong feelings against development or for development, but I do have my ground to the ear. Despite where I live, I hear what's going on. And there is a lot of support being built in the community for the CRC developers. And they're doing what they do. There's nothing evil about them, but they have money, they have power, they have expertise, and they're using it. Now, most of you on council, the majority of you, I think said in the election that you would not look at anything over the OCP, and I think you said that too, Bob. Okay, are you going to be able to stick to your convictions when faced with a community that's changed its mind?
Well, I'll start with that. I mean, if the community has changed its mind, that's a sort of a nit question. We are talking about a public process that is starting we are talking about a public process that will be discussed at council March 2nd. So where that goes, don't know. But that public process is imagined to be an opportunity for the community to speak, be involved, be engaged, be informed, be creative. So the outcomes of that process are ahead of us.